Did you know that over 30% of cloud spend is wasted on mismanaged resources? Don't let your startup be part of that statistic. Learn how to provision cloud resources the right way. My name is Nelson Ford. I've been working in IT for 25 years through web development, systems administration, front-end development, DevOps, cloud architecture and engineering, and cybersecurity. I hold multiple AWS professional certifications and the CISSP, or Certified Information Systems Security Professional. In this video, we'll explore the ins and outs of cloud resource provisioning, and I'll show you how to avoid costly mistakes that many businesses make. Whether you're a startup or an SME, you'll learn how to deploy resources into your cloud environment in a way that saves money, boosts performance, and scales your business effortlessly. We're going to answer 3 key questions that you need to know to master cloud resource provisioning. 1, what is meant by cloud resource provisioning? 2, how can you automate resource provisioning to save time and reduce human error? And 3, what are the best practices to ensure you provision efficiently, scale properly, and avoid unnecessary costs? Let me tell you about a SaaS company I once worked with. They were doing well, growing fast, but there was one major problem, and a common one. They were over-provisioning resources and not tracking their usage. Their dev team had bought more storage and compute power than they actually required, and over time their cloud costs skyrocketed before they realized they were burning cash unnecessarily. I stepped in, I helped them optimize their resource provisioning strategy, and they cut their cloud costs by around 20% while maintaining peak performance. So imagine that your cloud environment could grow seamlessly with your business without wasted resources or unnecessary costs. That's exactly what we're going to explore today, how to make your cloud resources work for you and not against you, because if you're like many startups, you don't have money to waste. So first things first, what is cloud resource provisioning? At its core, it's the process of allocating the right amount of compute, storage, and network resources for your workloads in the cloud. Now, it's important to understand that cloud provisioning can be looked at through 2 major lenses: the tools that you use to actually manage the provisioning process, and then the strategy behind how you decide what resources to allocate and how much. So let's break down both of these. The first lens is about the tools used to provision resources. You can either provision resources manually, which means setting them up one by one, or you can automate the process with tools like CloudFormation, Terraform, or Azure Resource Manager. Manually provisioning is fast and simple to get started. It's in the web interface, but it's time-consuming and prone to human error, especially as your infrastructure grows. On the other hand, automated tools allow you to scale effortlessly. They save time, reduce errors, and ensure your resources are deployed consistently. For startups and SMEs, automation is usually the smarter path because it helps you grow quickly without wasting time or resources. Tools like Terraform, for example, allow you to define your infrastructure as code, meaning you can replicate environments at the click of a button, and also version your infrastructure templates in a Git repository. So now let's look at the strategy behind provisioning, the second lens. When we talk about provisioning strategy, we're talking about the approach you take to allocate resources. There are 2 main strategies here: static provisioning and dynamic provisioning. So static provisioning means allocating resources based on predicted needs. And this works well if your workload is stable, it doesn't fluctuate too much, like in the case of internal applications for company staff. But if you're dealing with traffic spikes, with customers, say during a product launch or holiday season, then dynamic provisioning is your best friend. Dynamic provisioning adjusts resources in real time based on demand, so you're not overpaying for resources that you're not actually using. Choosing the right strategy comes down to understanding your workload patterns and business goals. If your traffic fluctuates, go with dynamic provisioning. If it's more predictable, static provisioning might be more cost-effective. So how do you ensure that you're provisioning efficiently? Here are some best practices to keep in mind. Number 1, right-sizing resources. Evaluate your resource usage regularly to avoid over or under provisioning. Cloud providers offer tools like AWS Cost Explorer or Google Cloud Monitoring to help you monitor usage and optimize costs. Number 2 is use reserved instances or spot instances to reduce costs, both of which we'll discuss in a future video, so hit that subscribe button. These options let you lock in resources at a lower price or bid on unused capacity when it's available. 3 would be ongoing monitoring. Make sure to keep an eye on your resource usage over time. This allows you to adjust your provisioning strategy as your business grows or your needs change. To really take things to the next level, you're going to want to automate as much as possible. Tools I mentioned like AWS CloudFormation, Terraform, which actually works cross-platform, and Google Cloud Deployment Manager are fantastic for automating the provisioning process. These tools allow you to define your entire infrastructure as code, making it easy to replicate environments or scale quickly. One of the most powerful automation techniques is autoscaling. So with auto-scaling policies in place, your infrastructure can scale up or down based on demand. That means you only pay for resources that you need when you need them. And the future is getting even smarter. AI and machine learning are being used to predict resource needs and provision automatically, saving you even more on costs. Before we wrap up, let's talk about some common pitfalls that you want to avoid when provisioning cloud resources. The first one would be over-provisioning and under-provisioning. Over-provisioning leads to wasted money, while under-provisioning can hurt performance. Striking the right balance between these two is key. Two, ignoring automation. Don't rely too heavily on manual processes. Automation is faster, more reliable, trackable. Infrastructure automation templates make it easy for new team members to understand the scale and scope of your infrastructure, and they're crucial for scaling efficiently. Three would be lack of monitoring. If you're not keeping an eye on your cloud usage, you're likely paying for things you don't need. Regular monitoring and alerting will save you money in the long run. Remember that SaaS company that I mentioned at the beginning of the video? By focusing on both the right tools and the right strategy, they were able to cut cloud costs by that 20%, all while scaling their infrastructure to handle more customers. This is the power of proper resource provisioning. It allows you to grow without burning cash or sacrificing performance. So now that you've seen how effective resource provisioning can optimize your cloud infrastructure and save you money, the next step is to dive deeper into automating these processes for even greater efficiency. So in my next video, I'll be walking you through some of the top automation tools for cloud provisioning, showing you exactly how to set them up and start seeing benefits. Click here to watch that video now, and let's take your cloud management to the next level.